Hi everyone, I figured I don't get to do these too often, but this is a impactful storm and certainly met the criteria for Facebook Live, if there is one. So this will be in place of my typical minute weather. Okay, I think we should be up and running right now. So, hey everyone, I don't do these too frequently, but I think this certainly met the occasion of a system that's going to be impactful today and lingering into the day tomorrow. So definitely warranted a Facebook Live, obviously in place of my typical minute weather forecast. Today is going to be a little bit longer than a minute. So let's get into the details. This is going to be starting out as rain, turning steady this afternoon and into the evening. There's a flooding concern, especially off towards the south and east, and downpours, a rumble of thunder. This is a highly convective storm, especially off towards the south and east when the storm really starts to develop. So that's when the downpours, rumble of thunder, and gusts embedded within the rain of 35 to even 40 miles an hour. Not as much of a concern through the capital region, but through the mid-Hudson Valley and especially back towards New England. That is certainly a threat with this one. Now, on the backside of it, we're going to see sharply cooler air wrap around the storm. This storm is basically going to become a nor'easter, so we're going to get a cold northwest wind wrapping around, and that's going to turn the heavy rain to a period of heavy snow. Now, yesterday, there was a question about how much was really going to stick around the capital region, but confidence is growing that it will certainly be a measurable accumulation. We'll get into the snow totals coming up. And regardless of how much snow falls, it looks like we're all going to be sharply cooler on Monday. We'll be blustery winds over 35, even 40 miles an hour across the entire area. And for those that see the heavy snow, this could be problematic on power lines and with tree branches. So let's set the stage where we are right now. Temperatures are incredibly mild. I mean, normally I have the average high pulled up for Albany right now. It's normally should be 40. Average low should be 24. We're up to 60 in Bennington, 54 in Albany, 55 in Hudson. It's hard to believe in less than 24 hours, it's going to be a white scene across a lot of these areas, but it takes a powerful storm to get such huge temperature variations, and that's exactly what we're going to happen over a short period of time. So, of course, with the temperatures we're seeing right now, no concern about any sort of winter weather for the time being. We're starting to see rain overspread the area from southwest to northeast. Actually, much earlier, there were a few rumbles of thunder over places like Amsterdam and Gloversville. So a lot of energy with this storm. The brunt of it is still many hours away. It's associated with this cold front, which is stretching from Canada all the way down to the southeast. This area of low pressure right over here led to severe storms, even some tornadoes, places like Tennessee. And this is going to be the one that's going to redevelop as our coastal low and really give us some substantial impacts later on this evening and into the overnight period. So in anticipation of the rain, we have a flood watch in effect that is known for general or flash flooding of rivers, streams, and poor drainage areas. I know you see that for like Albany County, Rensselaer County, but I think this is a bigger threat much further off towards the south and east, closer to the storm center, places like southeastern New England, where much heavier rain's anticipated. Then we turn to the wintry side of things. We have a winter weather advisory through the capital region, Fulton, Montgomery County, back towards the Berkshires, where there's going to be snow accumulation, but not as high as places like the Catskills, the Adirondacks, back towards the Greens, where the winter storm warning's in effect for the potential and the likely potential of over 6 inches of snow. Even a few of these spots could get close to a foot of snow. So there's a lot to unravel. Let's start this afternoon. 12:30, we're starting to see the rain pick up in intensity. Still incredibly mild. Temperatures in the mid-50s. And maybe it's going to be a bit spotty during the afternoon. So it's not coming down the entire time, but starts to pick up in intensity, especially later this evening. You see some of these bright yellow, oranges, even nearly red color off towards the south and east. It's those locations where a rumble of thunder is possible, pulling down really gusty winds, 30 to even 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Across the capital region, still seeing the heavy rain, not as concerned about the thunder threat or extremely gusty winds. On the backside, here comes the cooler air crashing on down. Again, temperatures earlier were in the mid to upper 50s, and now we're seeing cold enough air to support snow. I know you're seeing temperatures when this changeover is happening that are several degrees above freezing, but it's going to be cold enough aloft that even though, at the surface we're not going to necessarily be at freezing, it will be cold enough to support snow, and it will likely be coming down heavy enough that it will accumulate on grassy surfaces through the capital region and especially on the roads over the higher terrain, Adirondacks, Catskills, and eventually the Greens. So snow's changing over. This rain snow line's collapsing on the coast. We're seeing periods of heavy snow overcoming the marginal temperatures and likely leading to a pretty disruptive morning commute. Intensity may taper off a little bit, but still snowflakes are flying, some rain showers over the valleys, and for those that are cold enough, could make conditions certainly slick on the roads. By the afternoon, we're seeing a general tapering. Lake effect machine might turn on a little bit, so off towards the north and west, some snow showers may still linger. It is much cooler on the backside of the storm. Temperature on the thermometer may read 40, but it's going to be very gusty, wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour coming out of the northwest, so likely feeling very blustery, more like the upper 20s. And because we're going to be seeing a heavy wet snow over the higher terrain, this could lead to some power lines and tree branches coming down as well during the day tomorrow. So, forecasted rainfall. As mentioned, it looks like the highest totals generally will be off towards the south and east, where anywhere from an inch to even 2 inches is possible. Again, probably more so out of our coverage area. It's less as you get off towards the north and west, but they're going to be seeing less rain there, but more snow in those locations. So here's the general thinking of snowfall forecast. I've had to tweak this quite a bit, and it's still certainly subject to change. There's a lot of dynamics with this storm. It's a very complex setup, but this seems like a reasonable conservative estimate. So I think 4 to 8 once you get into the Catskills, the higher terrain there could certainly support that. Similar story into the Adirondacks, but if you get way up in elevation, 8 to 12 is a possibility, say north and west of Lake Pleasant over northern Herkimer into Hamilton County. Greene County, you're going to get some upsloping with the winds coming out of the southeast. That could enhance some of the snow developing here, and then also on the backside coming out of the northwest. So 8 to 12 is a possibility over the higher terrain there, and even places like Bennington, 4 to 8 inch snowfall is possible. Saratoga, 2 to 4, Glens Falls, 2 to 4. It's these locations through the Hudson Valley that is, I'm skeptical about some of these numbers, but we'll stick with 2 to 4 right now. There's just the possibility that warm air can hold on long enough that the snow accumulations don't fully come to fruition. At the same time, some guidance wants to bring 5-6 inches to these locations. So again, 2 to 4 seems like a reasonable estimate. Albany, right on the cusp of 1 to 2. I could see probably 2 inches to falling there. And then it's less, but still seeing snow flakes flying into the mid-Hudson Valley and down through Litchfield County. Again, these are places that were all in the 50s this morning, so a pretty incredible change of pace. Impact to travel this afternoon through 6 p.m. Rain will be coming down, but likely not at its steadiest level, so you do want to take it slow, but travel will be manageable. It's this evening into the overnight period, especially through early rush hour hours, that travel will be impacted highly. I think rain's going to be coming down very heavy, and then that's turning over to a heavy period of snow, especially over the mountains, and that will crash down through the capital region and into the Hudson Valley. Backside of the storm, we see general tapering by the late morning into the afternoon on Monday, so impacts to travel should be minimal, but again, heavy wet snow on power lines and tree branches over the higher terrain can lead to power outage concerns for those locations. So here's a short-term forecast. This afternoon, 50 to 55 degrees. It's pockets of steady rain, heaviest, likely off towards the south and east. Just incredibly mild, but we see temperatures crash pretty quickly. Mid to upper 30s by tonight. It's a heavy rain going over to snow. We're sharply cooler on the backside of the storm, and it will be breezy, especially closer to the center of the nor'easter off towards the east. By tomorrow, we are going to be much cooler. 35 to 40 degrees is the best we'll do, with a gusty wind coming out of the west-northwest, probably feeling like the upper 20s. Keep mentioning it, but I think there is a high concern for some power outages and tree branches coming down during the day tomorrow. And finally, we see some general clearing by tomorrow evening, mid to upper 20s, and that wind will still be a bit breezy at times. Fortunately, beyond this system, we enter a pretty tranquil stretch of weather. I don't know why that jump there, but probably going to keep doing it. Sometimes that happens with this 7-day graphic for whatever reason. But enter a calm period after that, and actually we'll see a good deal of sunshine mixing in with the clouds, which is something we didn't see all of last week. So that is something to look forward to, making those upper 30s to low 40s throughout the week feel a little bit more manageable. So an impactful storm is on its way. We are going to have more details later this evening. Meteorologist Craig Adams will be in, and keep it tuned. Thanks for tuning in.